Okay, so I just finished my morning. I taught 8 classes this morning, and I ended it feeling impatient and irritable, but watching myself and trying to choose a better response and trying to be patient. My last student that I had was a regular student of mine who I love so dearly. But when I got onto the class today, she was just being 5 years old, and she didn't say anything, and she was also eating a banana, but she just seemed like she was in her own world during the class. And even from the beginning, I was just standing there. I was like, hello, and she didn't say anything, so I was like, hello, hello, and I actually felt myself getting irritated because she didn't respond. And I also recognize at the same time, like while this is happening, that I recognize that children live in their own world. They're not aware of how to conduct social interaction, right? So they're not even aware that when they see somebody, right, that they can say hello. I mean, and I want to say should say hello, but really, what is should, right? Like, we don't have to do anything. But when you see somebody, like, you just want to say hello, right? You want to say hi, like, hello, like, I haven't seen you in a while, like, you want to connect to that person. But kids are just kind of in their own world, and we have to accept that, because that is the reality, right? I worked at a daycare years ago, and I remember when the students wouldn't say hello back to the teachers. A lot of the time, like, I would see that the teachers would take it personally. They would take offense to it. And I mean, these were even like 2-year-olds and 3-year-olds. The student that I had today was 5 years old, but still the same thing holds true, right? Because even a 5-year-old is constantly living in the reality of me, and they're in their own world, and they still don't understand, how to truly greet and connect with people, or they do that, in their own way, and they don't do it in the way that maybe adults do when we see each other, and that should be okay, because that is the reality, right? So I am going to think about that and try to accept that, and hopefully have more patience and keep that understanding at the forefront of my mind when I teach. And guys, I'm almost at 7,000 classes, and this is what this is my reality, right? This is actually why I teach every day, because I hope that I'll become a better human, and every day I do. Like, even going through this, I work through what arises within me when I teach, when I interact with students. The biggest stressors actually in my day are not children at all. They are parents. So I strongly recommend, and parents know this before booking my class, that I teach my children independently. And I strongly recommend that parents don't be in the room. And if they are in the room, I ask them not to interrupt the flow of the class. Today I had a new student, and this mom, I kept seeing a hand come from the side, and he would touch his nose, and she would move his hand away. And at first, when I saw it, I was like, the first time I was like, I don't know if I said anything the first time. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I say it right off the bat, right? But if it just happens once, it's like, but the second time that it happens, I was like, hello, mama. I was like, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Right? Because I want her to know that it's okay. Because sometimes parents try to adjust their child's behavior or movement or posture, or what they're doing, or what their child is doing with their hand, because they think that the teacher, or that they think that the child needs to be a certain way for the teacher. And I teach children in their element, like in their natural element, because I know that that's how children learn best. And when we constantly try to like fidget with our kids, and try to mess with them and touch them, it's a distraction to them, right? So instead of, if their attention was on the teacher, if their attention was on the lesson, if it was on what they were learning, all of a sudden this hand comes out of nowhere and snaps them out of that, and that interrupts the flow of the class. So I told this mom about 2 or 3 times, maybe 3 times. I said, it's okay. I was like, it's okay. So that happened. I typed in the chat window, and I said, Mama, I was like, can you please allow him? I was like, you can allow him to learn independently. Please do not touch him during class. Right? So she said, okay. And then after this, then this is what happens with the flashcard. So he holds up a flashcard, right? She takes it away, and then I say, oh, it's okay. It's okay. He holds up a Chinese flashcard again a few minutes later. This time I stopped teaching the lesson, and I'm like, hi, Mama, can you please give it back to him? Can you please give it back to him? And I also typed that in the chat window. And I stopped teaching the class because at this point it's interrupting the flow of my class, and I can't actually do my best teaching. I can't actually teach like this. So I stopped teaching. I pull out my phone, I pull out my translator, and I start typing, please allow him to learn independently, or please allow him to learn alone in the room. That's what I type, and I start to play it. And I hear her tell her son in Chinese, or also in English, to say, let's go, like, like tell the teacher to continue the class. And I'm still waiting. I'm like, hi, Mama, hello, Mama. She doesn't come. She doesn't answer me. So maybe she got up from the desk and walked away. And at this point, she's just talking to him from like further away in the room. And I'm still waiting for her, because I really tried to interact with the parent, but I saw that this parent was not willing. She was not willing to interact with me. She just wanted to do it her way. And I have guidelines for a reason. If there's a difference in philosophy, right? I communicate with this mom about at least 3-4 times before I stopped the class. Like at least 3 or 4 times, at least 4 times, and before I stopped the class and I stopped teaching, and now this is taking time from the class, where it's taking me a few minutes now to pull out my phone, type in the translator, type in the chat window, please allow your son to learn independently. Then she walks away, and I'm again trying to talk to her, Mama, hello, Mom. I'm like, please come back. Can I see you? Can you please read? Do you hear? Like, I'm trying to play for her the teacher's philosophy. I'm telling her for a reason. I'm communicating to you what I need in order to teach the class, and you are not listening. And a lot of the times, I realize as parents, it's difficult to release control over the expectations that a parent has of their child, right? It's not easy, but and I see how difficult it is, because I'm asking the parent to do something, right? I'm asking them to allow their child to learn independently, but they are still unable to. And I know that grip over how we think things should be, that's very, very difficult to let go of, right? But and I've worked with parents, a lot of parents, through this expectation, through this control that we want to impose over our children. And the truth of the matter is, the more we try to control our children, the less that they will be likely to move in our desired direction, right? Because it's the more we try to control, the more they will try to resist. Because if you think about a rubber band, right, the more you pull the rubber band, the harder it will snap back, the more it will want to snap back. And if you just pull it a little bit, it would just, wish I had a rubber band right now. I do somewhere in this mess. But the more you pull the rubber band, the more it will just like, ksh. So each human being has their own free will. And if you try to control that human being, it's very easy. It's a lot easier when children, are young. And the younger a child is, the easier it is to control the child. But the truth of the matter is, it's not without consequences to that child's development, their attitude, their behavior, everything, right? Because no human being wants to be told what to do. No human being wants to hold something up and then have it taken from them, right? So I actually asked my parents during class not to take things from their children's hands. And I think that's just a sign of respect, right? Because we wouldn't want anyone to take things from our hands, right? I wouldn't want anyone to just snatch something out of my hand. And children are just young adults, right? Just because they are 4 or 5 years old doesn't mean that we should not give them the same respect. We actually need to give them even more respect, right? Because they are learning and developing and growing and watching, and they are trying to learn how to be with other human beings. So we have to give them the most respect, right? So So even I've had parents try to take away toys, and I've actually asked them, can you please give it back to him? Like, I'll call him, Mama, can you please give it back to him? Because the I'm not looking for the outcome of the toy being out of the child's hands. What I'm looking for is the child to willingly, right? If I ask the child, I want the child to willingly to put the toy away. And I've had situations where children will actually put it away when I ask them to. It happens a lot. Sometimes children won't, and I try, and if they don't, I can't force them, right? I just try to I conduct the class as much as I can, the best that I can, while the child does whatever they do. And I try different ways to get their attention, and then I even try again to ask them to say bye bye car, bye bye. And it's crazy, because when I have developed a relationship with a child, or even if it's not a regular student of mine, but even if it's just the first time that I'm teaching that student, it is surprising to me how many children, just out of respect for me, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes into the class, right? Like they will put the toy down, right? Just because of the respect that I give them. And so that respect is such an important part of dealing with children, right? If we want them to behave well, if we want them to respect themselves and respect other people, we have to be that with them, so they actually know what we're talking about, so they actually know what we mean, right? So the mom who snatches the toy or the flashcard out of her child, right? What that student is learning in class is that first of all, it's okay to do that, and then second of all, that, you know, that he that is also license and permission for him to do the same thing to others, right? And so both of those are not what we want for our children. So we have to give our children the most respect, because they are learning how to be with themselves and how to be with other human beings. So that I realized that it's actually not children that are my greatest challenges in the classroom. It's actually the parents, because I can deal with any child. I can deal with any child's behavior. I mean, children are, if you connect to their heart and if you make it fun for them, they will come around. They will. All children do. Like, even children that come into my class and I'm meeting them for the first time, and I can see that they have resistance in their behavior, resistance to learning. They have some kind of resistance. Even that, I realized through my kindness, through my interaction with them, even that resistance breaks. Because children are just, most of the time, right, they are mimicking their environment. They are mimicking the behavior that they see. They're also acting out how they feel, right? They're acting out what they need. And so when someone applies kindness to them, right, when they are shown kindness, there's the need for that behavior can subside, can go away, and they will no longer behave that way. They will no longer have as much resistance. Right? So we really need to have the most respect for our children and the most kindness for our children, because they are learning how to be with themselves and others. So I hope this was helpful to you guys. I learn a lot when I teach every morning. Every morning I'm a better human being, even just sharing this with you. And I'm sharing this with you too, because I'm not a perfect human being. I've taught over 6,500 classes, and I still find myself getting impatient. Watch some of my other recap videos about my teaching, where I talk about my mornings, where I talk about the classes and what happened in my classes and what I've struggled with. Like, it's not easy, like, as a human being to be patient all the time. It's not. But all I can do is just notice it. I can notice it. I can reflect on it, and I can talk about it. And hopefully, even just saying these words out loud will help me more to be better next time. Right? I hope so. I hope that I'll be a little bit more patient tomorrow. That's all I could do. I'm human too, and so are you. So be kind to yourself, and whatever you want for your child, however you want them to be with other people, you have to be that for them. You have to be that with them in your interaction with them. So if you don't want them to grab things from people's hands, if you want them to be kind to others, if you want them to be respectful to others, be the most kind and be the most respectful with them. And you will see they will blossom. they will be the kindest human beings because they were shown that kindness. And they actually need to see it, right? We need to see something before we can actually be it. And if they don't see it, they don't even know that it exists. I mean, there are a lot of students that come into my classroom that literally their jaw like drops open when I say sorry to them. I say sorry like it just like comes out of my mouth. Like it's not even something that I think about. And but sometimes I'll look at them and they'll still be like frozen, huh? Like and it's because they probably don't hear adults apologize, right? They probably don't hear adults apologize much, or maybe they don't hear them apologize at all to them. A lot of kids get surprised when they hear me say sorry. It's because they're not used to it, right? So like, let's make this the norm, right? Like however we behave with adults, like we have to apologize to adults when we recognize we've done something wrong. The same thing goes for children, because children are going to be adults one day and they will not know. They will know more how to apologize if somebody apologizes to them, if we apologize to them. So let's be everything to them that we hope they will be for themselves, to themselves, and to other people. I love you guys so much. I hope this was helpful. Let me know if you have any questions or comments or any challenges, and I'll do my best to get back to you. I love you so much. Happy teaching. Enjoy your time with your child and be everything with your child that you hope them to be for themselves and others in the world. I love you so much.